Movies worth watching and watching again. These are movie gems.
Shh, it's starting.
You know, it's a treat to sit down to a great movie. But do you have trouble finding a worthwhile film you can watch with your family and friends? I'm Jay Fulmer, and I'm here to help. Let me recommend the movie Dave. But before I do, let me give you a little backstory. In 1894, Anthony Hope published what became a rather famous adventure novel called The Prisoner of Zenda. It was about an English nobleman, Rudolph, visiting his distant relative in Ruritania for his coronation as king. The would-be king gets drugged and abducted, but for various political reasons, the coronation must go on. It turns out that Rudolph looks just like the king, and so is called upon to pretend to be the king, and the adventure begins. One of my favorite parts of the story is that Rudolph is a man who is generally letting life pass him by, but when called upon to rise to the occasion in time of need, finds there is a lot more to him than even he realized. Rudolph is at his best when yoked to noble purpose. And there may be a princess involved and they may fall in love, but by the end, they must choose responsibility to their nation over their feelings for each other. So why am I telling you this story? Well, because you should read it, and also there's a great 1937 movie version. But the real reason I'm telling you about it is that it has a wonderful modern-day adaptation called Dave. This time, our plot involves the President of the United States. President Bill Mitchell is a career politician with a polished public persona, but behind the scenes, not a great guy. While having an affair with his secretary, Bill has a massive stroke. A tough and menacing chief of staff, Bob Alexander, who is the man behind the scenes kind of running the country, must find a replacement or the vice president, an honorable man, will take power away from him. Enter Dave Kovic, a man who runs a small DC temp agency populated by hopeless cases, for which Dave somehow always manages to find a job.
Murray, tell him we're on our way, okay? It's Wednesday. Everybody works on Wednesday, okay? Can I borrow your... Thanks.
Much of the temp work seems to come from Dave's put-upon accountant friend, Murray. Dave is one of the happiest guys around who happens to have a side hustle doing look-alike appearances as President Mitchell, and why not? He looks just like the guy.
There is no Chevrolet like Durenberger's Community Chevrolet.
Thank you.
And so he is chosen to double for the president. But like the English nobleman in the source material, Dave rises to the occasion and uses his moral character and energy to become an unstoppable force, which means, of course, he must be stopped by those who want to maintain their power. Along the way, Dave discovers more about himself and the good he can do.
No, I'm sure that's important, but I don't want to tell some 8-year-old kid that he's got to sleep in the street because we want people to feel better about their car. Do you want to tell him that?
He is especially inspired as he begins to fall for the First Lady. This romance is handled with a wonderfully careful hand, so that it never betrays their integrity. Both Dave and the First Lady feel the sense of the responsibility they have to the nation. Is that where their romance will end? We all know that Dave can't remain in the Oval Office, but how he leaves and what he can accomplish before he goes remain in question until the end. Gary Ross's script and Ivan Reitman's direction neither rush nor linger over the outcome of Dave's term as president. Everyone ends up exactly where they deserve, which of course is the definition of fiction. But that is exactly the joy of this movie. It really knows what it is and where it's going. The pacing is excellent, and it is really funny. Not in any mean-spirited way, but often flowing from Dave's perpetual optimism. The tone of the film reminds me a lot of 1939's Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. The film even creates the feel of small-town America, right in the heart of contemporary Washington, where old-fashioned virtues of decency and kindness need only be given a chance, and they'll prevail. This feels in many ways like an old-fashioned movie, which may be one reason I find it so refreshing. When's the last time you watched a movie whose protagonist has no greater aspiration than to make people's lives a little better? That's Dave. Dave was released in 1993, has a runtime of 1 hour and 50 minutes, and is rated PG-13. Now, what about the film gives it a PG-13 rating? I'll admit, I'm not sure. There's a little swearing and some sounds of the president's affair with his secretary that go on a little longer than I'd rather, but neither of those are PG-13 level. The best I can offer, and you'll pardon me for being frank, is that perhaps it's because of Kevin Kline's butt, shown sort of while taking a shower even though it's barely seen through fogged glass. It's played for laughs as the First Lady barges in to chastise the man she still thinks is her husband. But honestly, that's as blue as it gets. Well, what do you think? Would you like to try it out? You can probably find this film at your local library, but you can also watch it through streaming online. Just type your movie title into the search bar and include the word streaming. You'll see results showing where you can rent it, or perhaps it's already on a streaming service you subscribe to. Once you watch it, come on back and tell us what you thought in the comments section. If you're already a fan of the movie, tell us in the comments what you loved about it and encourage others to watch it too. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified of new episodes as they come out. See you next time for more Movie Gems.